This is the reason why I like wearing overalls. It's hidden. So this project started off the way that many of my projects start, which is Pinterest. Big surprise. For months, I have been seeing just the most gorgeous crochet cover-ups. Sometimes it's worn over a bathing suit, but sometimes it's even used like over another dress with jeans and a crop top. All the options were so cute, but I was so scared to tackle such a large project. For those of you who don't know, I chaos crochet. That is not my term. People who've commented on my previous videos have said that, and I love it. And chaos crochet sometimes leads to really fun outcomes or complete disaster. So that's why I tend to keep my crochet projects relatively small. For months, I've just been kind of thinking about it, and then there was one TikTok on Pinterest, of course, that really pushed me over the edge. It was so beautiful. I actually have tried to go back and find that TikTok, and I cannot find it for the life of me. I have no clue where it went. If Editing Me can find it, she'll put it up here. It inspired me that it was time. I had a huge amount of this beigey taupe yarn that had just kind of been sitting in the corner of my yarn stash, silently judging me for only using a skein or two in my last project. So we're gonna be using that. This whole project took about a month, which is the longest I think it's ever taken me to make anything for myself. So a lot of this footage I don't really remember. It's gonna be a surprise for both of us. Fun! By the way, just a friendly reminder, if you have seen my videos before and you like them, please consider subscribing. That would really help me out. And thank you. Whether you're watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, thank you all so much. But with all that out of the way, let me show you what I did. Come on, turn off. Turn off for me, air, please. There we go. So I did start, and I'm about to right here. I'm gonna start about here, and then we'll figure out the top of the chest and shoulder part later. We'll come back to that. I'm very proud of this. I didn't learn how to do this. Usually what I do is I look up a YouTube video of like different crochet stitches and then pick my favorite. But this time I actually sat down and tried to figure out how to do my own stitch. And I did it. It looks really cool. I'm so proud. Even a few months ago, I don't think I would have been able to figure this out, but it is also incredibly simple. So I'm sure other people have come up with this too. I will go over this particular stitch pattern when there is more light outside, but right now, I think I just want to see how much I can get done tonight, and specifically how much I can get done in 48 hours. I have about 48 hours left to finish an audiobook. When I'm sewing, I have a harder time paying attention to audiobooks, but for some reason crochet is just like the perfect amount of focus that I can also listen to a book. Every time I am listening to the audiobook, I'll be crocheting, and I just kind of want to see how far I can get in a couple of days. Okay, so it is a little bit over 24 hours. I think it's more like 36 hours. Am I bad at time? Last night would have been 24 hours. I was a little too tired to film anything, so sorry about that. But I will show you what I've completed. We have one front panel and my entire back panel are both completed. So not doing bad. I have about 12 more hours. So I have a good chunk of time. I do have other things to do, but I think I'll have a good chunk to be able to see how much I'll do. So maybe this isn't like a very true to form 48 hours. Maybe it's more like realistic. Like realistically, what can I crochet in 48 hours? I think we're at a good stopping point to where I can show you the stitch pattern that I came up with. It's kind of a mix between, a leaf stitch and what is it called? Alpine? Tulip? I should have done research. I should have looked it up. I've done both of these stitches before, so I just kind of meshed them together and put them on a mesh thing. That's basically what I did. Does that make sense? Also kind of granny squarish. I don't know. I just mixed several things that I'd already done together and put them onto one thing. So let me show you how I do the stitch pattern for this piece. So I'm going to try to make this as quick and concise as possible. First thing you do is, oh, my goodness, I just put lotion on my hands and now it's like causing problems. This is a 2-weight yarn that is a cotton bamboo blend. First thing you want to do is do your chain to start your rows. You can do any number divisible by 5, and then I add 2 at the end. Hopefully that makes sense. I've literally never made my own stitch pattern before, and who knows if this even really works well or if I've just been lucky. I'm going to chain 72, so 70 plus 2, and I'll meet you at the end when I've chained all of them. 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. All right, so those last 2 are going to go into the 3rd chain stitch from your end. So 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be your first stitch. And the rest of the stitches for the way down, you don't have to start this way, but since I'm going into a waistband, I wanted a nice divider between the waistband and the start of the bodice. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this chain down is into every stitch, I'm going to do a half double crochet. And that is going to be all the way down. Okay, here it is. Not perfect, but it's there. Now what you're going to do is you're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to count 5 stitches this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and do chain stitch in that 5. And then count 5 again, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're gonna count 5 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to repeat that all the way down to the end. I have now done the chain 5s all the way down, and now it's time to kind of start making those little like triangular fill-ins that are attached to these. On this first time, you're going to chain 1, or I'm sorry, you're gonna single crochet. What was that about? And then you're going to half double crochet, and then double crochet, back down to a half double crochet, and then down to a single. And then in the stitch that is between these 2 larger holes, you're just gonna chain 1, more as an anchoring stitch than anything else. I'll show you that again. So in the next big hole, all these stitches will go into the same hole, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and a single crochet. Whoops, there we go. And then a single crochet into the stitch between. And you're gonna do that again all the way down. So I kind of forgot to mention that for every other set of rows, you're going to have to basically half the beginning and end of the row to keep the same number of stitches. And that's because you basically are staggering your rows, if that makes sense. When you do your chain of 5, your single crochets are going to go into the highest part of the bump from that set of stitches from the previous row, or it'll go into the double crochet, if that makes more sense. So the beginning and end for every other chain stitch row will have only 3 chain stitches at the beginning and 3 chain stitches at the end instead of 5. And so at the beginning you start with the double crochet, then a half double, then a single, and then the rest of the rows the same until the end, where you do a single crochet and then a half double, and then stop at the double crochet and go into your next row. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's not too confusing, but okay, let's get back to it. Bye. Okay, my 48 hours are just about up. I maybe have like 30 minutes more, but what I was able to complete was this top portion. It's basically a finished top. I haven't finished it yet. I want to do the sleeves before I put the side seams together, and I have some stuff I want to do to the center front, but it could be a completed top. And I did just start on the waistband, so that's not bad, especially for the fact that I didn't have like all of my time available to crochet. I'm gonna say pretty good. Like, that is a completed garment. Over the next few days, I will just be chugging along, completing the rest of the pieces. I think I'm gonna have like 4 skirt pieces, 2 sleeves, finish the waistband, and then we can start putting everything together. But I don't think that's gonna be anytime soon. I do think I'm going to be working on just the rest of these pieces for a while now. Cool. Ta-da! 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 So it's been about 24 hours since the last time I filmed. Whoopsie. So this morning I woke up very, very early. Didn't even intend to wake up that early. And not only was I able to finish the book, I was also able to get a lot of this done. I finished the neckline with a few rows of double crochet. Double crochets? Is that how you say that? Double rows with double crochet stitches. 4 rows of double crochet stitches. There we go. I also did this kind of mesh triangle. Look at it. I think it's really pretty. I also was able to do the waist. Right now I'm getting started on the sleeves. I don't know how far I'll get. My wrist is starting to hurt a little bit. By the way, I decided to put the sides of the bodice together. I usually wait until the sleeves are done, but with the way that I was, oh, there's a bug on there. Don't ask me why I did that. I had a reason when I did it. See you when I see you. Next time I am crocheting. It has been several days, but I finished the 2 sleeves. It didn't take me this whole time to crochet them. I just haven't had like complete days, of course, to crochet these. I'm thinking that for the skirt, I'm actually going to change up the stitch pattern a little bit for 2 reasons. First off, I think it will actually add some nice visual interest to the piece. And second of all, it's probably going to save me some yarn. If I have to buy more yarn, that's fine, but I want to try to not to have to buy more. So after every like set of rows, I'm going to interchange them with some just double crochet mesh, which I'll show you when we get there. I have a plan. We'll get to it. So let me go over how I did those in between rows for the skirt. So I start with the chain 5 and single crochet that I do for every other set of rows. But then I will do another set of chain 5 for the next row, but instead I will start with the double crochet, then chain 5, and then do a double crochet in between each set of 5 instead of the single crochet. And then I do one more row of chain 5 and single crochets. Then I do those bunches of single crochet, half double, double crochet, that whole thing. And then I repeat that all over again. That's pretty simple, I think. And it helped me to save a ton of yarn. And all the skirt panels are done. Yeah. Can you see my socks? They're so cute. They're little dinosaurs with little party hats on them. That was not important to the video, but I felt it was very important for you to know that. All of the skirt panels are done. And I have about 3 of these skeins left. hello, which is so much more than I thought I would have at this point. That means that I can make these pieces longer. I'm going to add, I was thinking more like a fringy bottom with just like chain stitching. You'll see what I mean when I get there to the bottom, and I'll add such nice length to this. And I can do everything that I wanted to do. I'm so excited. I put the front pieces together already because I want to do this kind of split skirt thing that you can see right here. And I'm gonna add some kind of trim in the middle here. Yeah, all the big components of this piece are done. Now it's just time to put everything together. I've not put the sleeves on yet, and I've not put the skirt together, which will be very exciting to see. It has actually been like 2 to 3 weeks since I've talked on camera about this project because I've been doing other projects. I knew this was going to take a very long time, so I've been doing other projects. So it almost feels a little weird to be talking to the camera about this. I don't know why, it just does. So yeah, it's time to put everything together. Very exciting. So I basically added trim to a bunch of different parts to make them longer or to make them look more finished. It was just a bunch of rows filled with a bunch of chain stitching, but with double and triple crochets. I then got to the last skein, which I used for my bottom fringe, and I did rows of longer and longer loops of chain stitches, which I think turned out pretty cool. And after about a month of work, it is finally time to show you the final result. I always try to leave my pieces on until after I've done final thoughts so that I can show you guys some things, but honestly, I am dripping in sweat. My pores are weeping. So that brings us to the first downside. It is not a summer cover-up, which I'm not the saddest about, but I did kind of have a dream of wearing it with a bathing suit, but you know what? I'm willing to give it up. Overall, I am more than anything else just proud of myself that I was able to do this at all without a stitch pattern, without what the pieces should look like and how to put them together. I'm proud I was able to do that. Now, is this piece perfect? No. The back, there's a big droopy area that you might not have seen, and that's why I wanted to keep it on. I wanted to show it to you, but you're just gonna have to believe me. The back droops for some weird reason. No clue why that is. I thought I made all the skirt pieces the same. There's one sleeve that does a weird flippy thing at the end, and I don't quite know why that is. But regardless of all those things, I still love it. And since I can't wear it in summer, I am so excited to see how I can style this in fall. But unfortunately, I will not be wearing it until then, so it's gonna have to stay in the closet. I actually didn't think that I would enjoy doing such a long project. I have a very, what I feel like is a small attention span with my projects. If I start it, I want to finish it in like 3 days. But this one I worked on while I was working on other projects at night, just watching TV. I was working on it for like an hour sometimes. And actually I really like that. And after a little bit of a break, I would like to try it again. I would specifically like to try another crochet dress at some point. Can't promise when that will be, but at some point in the future. Anyway, that is going to be it for me this week. If you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe so that you can see more from me in the future. And thank you so much for sticking around. Hope to see you back here next time. See you later, alligator.